friends, it's Nancy, and it is Friday, so I just want to sort of do a roundup of what's been going on. I did promise I would show these postcards that I made yesterday, so I think, I can't remember which one you saw. It was either this one or this one. So this one has a big carved button on it, and this one has a little vintage button on it. And then I got a little crazy and got out the jewelry that I have. So this is a pin. I've just pinned it on there. And a little bit of, I think this was like a link in a bracelet or something, because I have several of these. And the little jewel is sort of iridescent, but next to the blue ribbon it looks pretty blue. Hope that's coming through. And then this one, I used, this was a pin, so this is carved shell, mother of pearl, and I just snapped off the back of it and glued that on. So that is that. Now, I had a question about how I make the bobbins. I've done this before, but I can't find the link, the video, and I know that, okay, I don't know. I feel really confident that it was Heather from Rose Hill Paper Cottage that showed this a while ago now, but I can't find a video on her channel either. So what I've got here is a piece of card, and you know, cards that came in the mail, or you know, old, like this kind of thing, junk mail. So I just cover it with neutral paper scraps. So while I'm crafting away, if a little loose paper has no home, I just glue it onto this. So I've cut this 5 inches long and 4 inches across. Now I have my envelope punch, so I would put that right at the 1 inch mark, or right against where the roundy part meets. It shouldn't be this hard, but sometimes. I think it's because of the leverage I do not have. Actually have to make 2 to put my ribbon away. That velvet ribbon that I yanked out yesterday, it wasn't on cards, so it needs to go on cards. I also make small ones, so this is 4 by 2.5, so 2 of these, right? And then you can use scissors, but I prefer my knife. And I just put my ruler against that end of each punch and pop that off. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, I'll try to answer them, but again, I wouldn't use too heavy card because it can be almost impossible to punch through. Looks like this one I punched a little too high. That's okay. That's okay. Didn't know what I was doing. So then I would just take, I just use a piece of tape. And I was going to say, I thought that was a little pin. Here's the little pin. Okay, I'll do the other one. I'm going to clear this off, and I'm going to try something that I thought of yesterday when I was doing the laundry. These are dryer sheets. They've been used, right? So I took them out with my dried laundry, and I ironed them to make them flat, and I've got an idea. So let me clear the decks, and we'll come back in a minute. All right, here's the dryer sheets. To start with, I think I'm going to glue this down. Or not glue this down, tape it down so it doesn't move on me. So I've just got some, you know, frog tape, painter's masking tape kind of thing. So I'm just going to put one there and one at the bottom. Now, a dryer sheet like I'm using is about 6 1/4 inches wide, and let's say 9 inches long. Okay. Just making sure that's super flat. Okay. So what I want to do with the dryer sheet is use it as a surface to make a pocket out of lace. So I've got some scraps from the projects I did yesterday. I've got some more next to me because I haven't put it away yet. And I also have some little itty bits here. So not the fabric, not the fabric, not the fabric, not the fabric. Nothing pink. Whoop. Okay. So, let's say a pocket, I want it to be 3.5 by 5, like an index card size. So I can see the lines from my mat coming through. So if I keep the lace between the 7 inches or slightly overlapping 7 inches, then I can just cut it in half and make 2 pockets. So I'll start with maybe I'll start with a bigger piece. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now that's going to have some holes there, so we need something to cover that. I think this is an edge of a napkin or a handkerchief or something. I'm just going to cut this stitched over edge just to take out some bulk. And I'm going to use this glue stick. Okay. And then that would go on top. And what else have I got here? I've got this one. Maybe I would put that under and butt it up against that lighter colored one. pretty old. Okay. I think I'll use some fabric glue for that particular piece. So essentially it's just collage with the idea that you're trying to cover the surface that is under the lace, so the dryer sheet. And you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, I think this is original. I don't think I've ever seen anybody put dryer sheets in their junk journals. I could be wrong. Just being careful with the glue because I don't want it to show on the front. And this shiny fabric glue, it sticks good, but it also does glisten in the light when it's dry. So I'm trying to make sure that the dots of glue are just going on the heavy pieces of the textured pieces of this textile. Textured textiles. Now this, I would say that this doesn't have to be all up and down, and maybe the next time I'll try to do it a little more in a, I guess, sort of like a brick fashion. Okay, I need something to go there. No, don't like it. I think this is part of a cuff that I cut off a dress. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. So I might want to add something more there. We'll see. I'm just going to cut this edge off. I'll lift this up, tuck that down. Okay. Too big. Let's see if we can add some of these little bits. Okay, maybe I'll leave the extra embellishing to a different step. So I'm going to take off the tape. Glue went through, but it's just the glue stick, so it'll come right up with a little bit of a wishy-wash. The next one, maybe I should use some of that lace cap that I tore apart. All right. That's not gonna work. Gotta wait for it to dry. Okay. While I'm waiting for, you know what, I'm gonna cut this out while we're waiting. I'm just going to cut off some of this extra fabric. I have a really great handkerchief I'd like to use as well. Scrap fabric. That might be a good idea. Or a different idea for sure. Lord knows, I got scraps. And of course you could make them a little longer, so go the full 9 inches, and then make narrow 2.5-inch strips to make side pockets, right? Or side tucks. Okay, I think that'll stick now. And that's too small. I think I'll just put the glue on the back of that embroidered fabric bit. And then put that under there, and that under there. All right. I don't know why I keep turning to that piece. It's not going to work. And all right, I am going to pause and sew this one. I'll probably just do some straight lines of stitching just to make sure everything's held together. I could also do hand stitching, and that wouldn't show as much. Put that up there to dry. Yeah, I'm gonna do some hand stitching. Okay, so I've got a long thread here. It is just an ordinary sewing thread. This is slightly tacky still, so I'm just going to take a tiny stitch so on the front side there's just tiny stitches with a rather large gap. imagine this is very much like watching paint dry. So I'll just take another few stitches. Barely visible. I'm just using a neutral beigey sort of color. So I'm going to aim my stitch to be in the fabric-y part of the lace. All right, I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so just some all over stitches here, completely invisible, you can't see it on the front. I want to cut this into pockets now, but I was thinking I don't want to cut this sort of scalloped edge off, so I am just going to sort of cut under it if I can. If you see what I mean. I don't think I would try this on unused jar sheets because they're really stiff with the fabric softener solution. I don't know what it is. Some kind of something. It would be hard to sew because it feels weird. Alright. So now I'm gonna get my ruler. Random thread there. And I said I wanted it to be 5 inches, so I'm putting the putting the 5-inch edge there. And then I said 3.5. Okay. So we have 2 pockets. I see this is lifting up a bit, so I'm going to add a few more stitches there. But let's pretend this is a page. It is a page. But it could be stitched or glued down like that. I like kind of like that way better. If you wanted to make the edge just a little more definite, give it some more definition, you could add a little narrow piece of lace to the top. So I hope you thought this was kind of a fun project, a little something different. Take care. Come back again tomorrow. I'm sure we'll get up to no good. And if not tomorrow, Sunday for sure. And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.